Joseph Parker is interested in sharing the ring with Moses Itauma. He says, quote, Moses is young, talented, explosive, fast heavyweight. It would be a pleasure to share the ring with someone like that. Those are the words of Joseph Parker. And let me counterpunch. I think Joseph fighting Moses Itauma is a ballsy move, but then everything that Joseph Parker has done lately has been ballsy. And I think someone with the experience that Joseph has could actually check the chin of Moses if Moses doesn't get off quick. Because Moses is abnormally faster than most heavyweights, and I think Parker, now I'm convinced that Parker, with the overall weight gain, is not as quick as he used to be. That's why I do believe that the boxing pedigree between him and Fabio Wardley was somewhat even, somewhat competitive because of Parker. I think Parker came in at 270-ish, and because he did come in that heavy, he gave Fabio an edge because I think the speed actually belongs to Joseph Parker. But because of that weight gain, it slowed him down a bit, which gave Fabio more of a competitive chance. So him fighting Moses Itauma is still dangerous. In fact, it may be more dangerous because you're looking at someone that hasn't been through the Frazier Wars or the Justice Hooney beating. You're with a guy that is heavy set on fighting and doing what he's supposed to do, and he's been doing it every fight systematically, just putting it down and giving someone a grand beating very quickly. So it could be a lights out for Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker can be hurt. We've seen that in many fights that Joseph Parker's been in, but he can also recover. The question is, if he fights Moses Itauma, where will it be? If I'm Joseph Parker from this point on, I would want to be fighting in my backyard, Gold Coast, Australia, New Zealand, because I've noticed that is better suited for him, even though he fights in Saudi Arabia, over here in the States, the UK, everywhere else. But I think and I believe that he should be fighting, some fights in his backyard, but I do think it's ballsy. Is it too soon for Moses? No, because if he can take on Dillian White, he can take on Joseph Parker. And I think that would start to begin to give him that street credit that he needs, in these streets of boxing, right? So that is a good idea. What another part of me, I do feel though, another part of me thinks that maybe if Parker's fighting all these tough fights, it could be, they could be looking at Joseph Parker as an early gatekeeper. And I don't really want people to think he's that, because I still think he's up there somewhere. You know what I mean? At least above Zhang. Even though Zhang got stopped by Caballero, they may be in the same boat, but Zhang is still there. He's still a competitive force and still a dangerous competitor in the higher rankings. So fighting Moses Itauma is a ballsy move, but I do see the formation of when a fighter starts losing, they put him in with the next hard opponent, and then they lose again. Kind of similar to how they did Shane Mosley and Zab Judah, and a lot of these fighters, Eric Morales, when they were just tough fighters, and then they were just fill-ins for other guys that were future stars. But you guys tell me what you think of Joseph Parker interested in fighting Moses Itauma. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.